Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing on this great morning? I myself am doing rather well. I'm in a great mood this morning. Things are good. Life is good. Weather is good. It is 75 degrees this morning. Can't ask for much better than that. Hope y'all are doing well. As you can see from the title, we're going to be doing a little bit of knife work today. It's not Thursday, it is Tuesday, but I wanted to get it done. I told y'all as soon as I got the stuff in, we would do it, so we're going to do it. So I'm looking forward to that myself. I have been trying to prep as best as possible ever since I got home this morning. So hopefully that will pay off. I need to actually... Well, good morning, Mr. Sever 7. Traffic sucks, but I'm glad you're at least listening. Be careful. I'm very capable of driving and texting, I feel, because I don't text until I'm able. I don't text at times when I need to be paying attention. I text at times when I'm on a straightaway and can focus for a second, but I wouldn't suggest anyone do that. It's probably totally bad advice, and it's actually not advice. It was just a statement. So yeah, be careful. 40 degrees there this morning. That is not cool. Well, that is cool. By the way, good morning, Mr. TC Blaze, Mr. Ron Crow, Mr. Sever 7, Mr. Scott. Anyone else who has popped in? Yeah, the TO65 looks dope, huh? Good morning, Mr. Ed. Is that a new model, or is that the one we looked at the other day that I said I liked? We'll look at it here shortly. Good morning, Mr. Drummer. So, let's talk about a couple of things. So, last night, I wonder if I can fix the chat box to where it has a background. Let's see if that is an option I can do. Okay, doesn't look like I do it through there, so maybe I can do it through, let's see, settings. No. Overlays and themes. No. Oh, widgets. Here we go. Chat box settings. I needed to check this out anyway. I haven't looked at the settings. Aha. Background color. There we go. So instead of black, we can make it something like a gray, and maybe when that comes back, it'll have a background, which I don't know why it's not here already, but let's see. All right. As the chat progresses, maybe we will see a background. 49 degrees there. That's getting better, but not 75. So let's see. Why is the chat not showing up? That's not cool. It takes it a minute to update. I've noticed with Streamlabs. So hopefully it will put a box around it here eventually. Anyway, last night to work, I carried a couple of knives. I carried this one, which is my M390 8, and I was just in the mood. It is a great knife. It does make that little ting every now and then that everybody's looking for. Not doing it at the moment, but depends on how you flick it too. But I love the milling on this thing. Did a great job. Real M390 blade steel. So yeah, had that in the front pocket. And then of course in the back pocket, I had the duck again. And somehow yesterday I improved the action on this, and it is even better. And it is probably one of my best action knives now out of any that I've got. Blade lockup is super solid, and the blade drop on it isn't quite guillotine, but it's as close as you can get without being guillotine. So yeah, I've got it tuned exactly right. Perfect. So I had that in the back pocket. And then I received a few knives yesterday. Let's see, we'll start with this one. I received, I bought a bundle of 2 knives. One was this Spyderco Tenacious, which is actually a super nice little knife. I'm going to be selling this one for like $30, $35. I believe it's only like $65 or something new. So it's a great little $30 Spyderco. Doesn't look like it's been used at all. No marks on the blade. No marks on the scales. No marks on the clip. Cool little knife. It is a Tenacious. It is a liner lock. So not many Spydercos are liner locks. So that's pretty cool. It's got good lockup. It is on washers, not bearings. So the action is not, you know, it is what it is. It is what it's supposed to be. But I got this in a combo deal where I got that and I bought a Devo something or other. Can't remember the name of it now. The chat has frozen again. So I'm wondering what's going on with that, or just nobody is saying anything. That is perfectly okay too. Let's see here. I believe it's the Devo Mash. Is that what I bought? I got the Mash and I got this Spyderco for $75 total. So this is a titanium Mash. The scales on it need some work, so that's what we're going to do this morning. The blade looks great on it, or it did look great on it. I'll explain. But I figured if I sold this one for $30, $35, I would get this Mash for like $40. So getting a Devo titanium knife for $40 is a pretty good deal to me. It did have excellent action. I have disassembled it. That's why I'm not showing it to you, because if I show it to you, it won't look like a knife. It's just the scales. I have taken it apart and I've cleaned the scales to get the oil off of them. So we're going to jump right into ano here in a minute and refinishing those scales. We got to take the ano off before we put ano back on. Can someone hit me in the chat and let me know it's working? Because I can't see anything. And I'm wondering if it is because of the Streamlabs plugins and stuff. The last thing I see is I like the Olatan's T052 as well. If nope, hit and run. Good morning, Blade Alchemy Southpaw Carry. You broke it, Ed Durbin. Hey, Ron Crow. Alright, chat is back. Does not look like it has a background though on the screen, which is what I was trying to accomplish. So, aha. Custom CSS. I see that now. RGB alpha. RGB numbers. I need the RGB numbers for a light gray. Someone find that for me. RGB numbers. Light gray. Color codes. Let's try 211, 211, 211. See if that fixes it. 211. 211. 211. Oh, nobody was talking? That's fine. That's perfectly okay. I don't know if that'll work either, but we'll see in a minute. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So I received that one and that one as a combo. Carried those last night. And then I also received 2 more knives that I have no clue where I put them. They've got to be somewhere close. I got 2 more Rosies. Aha. I think they're here. I got a Rosie XL Zigzag from Lemifshi. And I got a Rosie Skeleton from Juful. And the reason I bought these is because I got a good deal on them and they are already both sold. I posted them on Knife Swap. They were up about an hour before they sold. So I was able to make a quick 50 bucks on these and that'll go towards my knife fund. So those don't really count. They came and went the same day. Alright. Now let's get to the meat of the matter. Refinishing knife scales. So let me put these up. And get going. Alright. So in here, I have all the parts along with the 2 sides of the scale. The way they came was a Michigan, I'm guessing, Michigan motif and some snails all over them. So these will be a prime candidate to refinish. So I put one on top of the foam and one underneath the foam so they wouldn't be banging against each other. And then those are all the parts for them. So like I said, I've already washed these and got all the oil off of them. So now we are going to take them and we are going to wink them and rinse them and call them George. So let me get my wink container, which is right here. That says multi-etch on it, but I do not think that is multi-etch. It is not. I have marked it out. It is not multi-etch. It is my wink. All right, we're going to get this open. One thing I did forget, which is very important, is some way to rinse these after they come out of the wink. So I need a cup or 2 of distilled water. So let me go grab a couple of cups. I'll be right back. I've got the power supply and everything ready, so we should be ready to go here momentarily. Alright, I'm back. I got my 2 cups Right there. Got some distilled water right here. About to run out of distilled water. I'm gonna have to grab some more today at the store. This is the end of it. All right. We got the distilled water for the double dip. We got the... Oh, Mr. Ed. I wanted to mention something. I got in your parts for your Lemifshi knife. Morning, Pete. I got those in yesterday as well, so I'll be sending them. I sent all the letters out yesterday with all the stickers, by the way. So the race is on. I don't know if y'all saw the post, but there is a post confirming that the race is on. Let me get my mouse working. I don't know what's going on here. Wow. What is going on? Did I get something on the mouse? I don't know. Alright. So, on the YouTube page, under the posts, I put a post up that says, and they're off. So it says, and they're off. The race is on. The first person to post the stickers on social media and send me the link will win a giveaway. Appreciate y'all. From Nevada to New York and all parts in between. Whose carrier is the best? So there's all the stickers that went out yesterday. I'm not going to bead blast the knife scales first, Pete. We're going to wink them. They're on the table. Yeah, I've got your parts, Ed. They sent a pivot, the pivot screw, and all the other screws too, the body screws. So I will send that to you. Pete, the knife's laying right here, so I don't know if you saw it. But no, I have not bead blasted it. I'm not going to bead blast it. We're going to wink it, and then we're going to ano it black, and then I'm going to bead blast it later once I get the setup in. I can always bead blast it. I'm curious about the black to see if it'll come off with wink as well, so we're going to test that today too. I did create a little thing that I've been needing to make, which is a little titanium wire that has a hook on for I can put two scales at the same time, so I can do them both at the same time. And I made a little titanium wire for that this morning, so I do have that we're going to use. Let me get a glove on here and find my paper towels. What did I do with the paper towels? Could have sworn they were just right here somewhere, but I am not seeing them. No paper towels is no good, so let me grab some. Hold on. Alright, got some paper towels. Should be good to go now. It's the last thing I can think of. Alcohol. Paper towels. Man, that AC noise is going to kill me. I got to get a new AC. That's all there is to it. Alright, I have washed these, like I said, to get the oil off. But we're just going to be doubly careful. And I'm going to clean these off with alcohol really quick. Like I said, this is a temporary finish anyway, because I'm going to bead blast these once I get my cabinet in. It should be Wednesday or Thursday. But I am just going to wipe those off with alcohol really fast, just to make sure they are clean. Simple green is another something that's really nice to use. Alright, now I'm going to lay down a couple of more paper towels just to catch all this drippage that's going to happen when I do the double dip. Alright, that should be good. We put a glove on. That's what she said. Cheap, super cheap blue gloves that seem to tear every time I use them. Probably too small for my hands. Alright, so we're going to start by winking these. I'm guessing this will show up good. I am going to leave these in here to make sure that we get all the color off. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, done. First dip, drop it. Second scale. I'm not going to turn this one so y'all can see the color go away. There, boom. Bubbles right now, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, done. Alright. There's the brand new Wink scales. They actually look great. Let me get this one out. They actually look fabulous. So, that is the entire process of removing ano when it is done with electrolysis. That's all you need. That's all the time you need. Super easy. Done. Now, that was using Wink. I do have multi-etch. Multi-etch would have taken a lot longer and wouldn't have been nearly as abrasive, but that should be fine. Alright, now I decided, since you can still see that M on here, I don't know if you can see that, but you can definitely still see the M. I decided that I would, you can see the M on this one too. I'm going to take some 600 grit paper and I'm going to sand these down a little bit. Yes, Pete, we do see the ghost image of the M. I'm going to run this 600 grit over here and we're going to get rid of those M's. Just because I don't want to spend too much time, and 600 should be perfect, especially when I bead blast with something that is going to be a lot more, a lot lower grit than 600. So 600 ought to be great. I will use this first cup of water to wash this off. And I will go wash my hands off too, and the knife scales before we anodize them. But I just kind of wanted to hit these really good and get them good and even. So, looks like the M is gone on this one, but I will do a little better job of getting down in this groove a little bit here. Let's see, probably using a little water, and I'm not worried about the little bit of Wink that'll be in the bottom. Hopefully it's in the bottom of that water and not on the top, but I probably shouldn't use that water, to tell you the truth. I probably should rinse that off because there is a chance it does have a little bit of hydrofluoric in it. So I'm going to do a quick dip and a double dip. And I am going to not use that water anymore. But the M is gone now, as you can see. Maybe it's, I don't think it's still there, but we'll make sure before we. I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to use the clean water this time on this one to get rid of that M. pretty much watched the M disappear right before my eyes. And like I said, these are going to be bead blasted as soon as I get my cabinet in this week. So I'm not really worried about how they look. I'm more worried about the color. But I will try to make them even at least. All right. We are looking pretty good. I'm not going to spend much time on this because of, just like I said, we're going to bead blast these later in the week. Just going to make sure that we get a good little even sanding done, just to give us the best chance of being even across here and looking nice for a couple of days at least. I'm not going to worry about the edges too much. That one is looking really good. Looking good, looking good. All right, when we finish up with this one in this little groove, a little bit of water on it. Get this groove a little bit. Hit the main part one more time. All right. We are looking good, guys. Hope y'all are doing good this morning. What's going on in y'all's world? Who drinks coffee with me every morning? Anybody? I think somebody said they drink cold coffee. I myself do not drink cold coffee. I couldn't imagine drinking cold coffee. That does not sound appetizing to me. That's part of the thing with coffee, is it being hot. But to each his own. All right. This one is looking good now too. So I'm going to run in here really quick, wash these off with Dawn while y'all talk amongst yourselves. And I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and I didn't get down in the little pocket clip area, so that'll have to wait for bead blast, but we'll see what it looks like with the black. All right, little rinse. Put them on the alcohol paper towel to take them inside. I'm going to get rid of this black cup and keep the white cup because the white cup has not been tainted with hydrofluoric acid. All right, that's some paper, sandpaper, towel, one more paper towel. All right, let me see if I can throw on a little video really quick for y'all to watch for a second while I'm washing. Let's see, home. I've been watching a bunch of cop videos, so let me type in knife here and see what we get. What's the newest? 1 month ago, 1 year ago. Recently uploaded. Here we go. I'll let you watch a little bit of
Okay.
Oh, we already saw that one. I thought that was the same one. Sorry. Knife making. Full metal dagger. Y'all can watch this for a minute. I'll be right back. Let me go wash these scales, and then we will ano them. Alright guys, I'm back. Ready to go. Whoops, left my headphone. Hold on. Alright. Now I'm back. And full transparency, while we watch a couple more minutes of this video, I'm going to put these scales into some multi-etch. Just because since I've sanded them, I've changed the texture of the outside of it. And you need to etch before anodization to get the best results. So I'm going to let these sit in here for a couple of minutes. As you can see, they're just sitting in the multi-etch right there. Morning, Fred the Lug. I also have my my manganese sulfate mixture is right there in the middle, so it's ready to go. Wink is very aggressive, Pete. And I would prefer not to use Wink ever. I would much rather use multi-etch. It does a better job of as an etch it. It's a lot less harsh. So given the time and chance, I would rather use multi-etch. You're supposed to heat it up to use it, so it takes it a couple of minutes if it's at room temperature. But that's the reason. Pretty cool looking little dagger he's making here. There's just a multi-etch website, Pete. You can only buy it from them. They don't sell it anywhere else. It's literally just called multi-etch. They sell it in a powder and a liquid. And they also have all the instructions on their website on how to use it. Are y'all interested enough to want to see how this knife turns out? Let me skip ahead just a little. Is he bluing it? Yes? No. Yeah, he's darkening it. Now he's sanding the dark off. Here we get making the handle. Man, so much handwork goes into making a nice custom knife. Yeah, break out the machines. Get it polished up good. Assembling the knife. Alright, here we go. That's some epoxy. I'm about to... I know y'all can't see me, but I'm not doing anything except taking the two scales out of the multi-etch and doing the double dip. So y'all aren't missing anything, I promise. Just going to dip it into the black one and then drop it into the white one and leave it. Alright. I got that done. Now I'm done with my multi-etch. Put it up. Alright. We're good to go whenever he finishes this knife. Got him a nice sharpening jig there. That's a heck of a thing there. Pretty wild. Thanks for watching. Alright, so we're back. Good morning, Knives Are Life. Yeah, multietch.com. Sorry, I should have said, I didn't have time to look that up, Pete, but I appreciate you helping me. Alright, so we're good to go now. Now, I got my power supply over here. I've got my little titanium wire that has where I can hook both of them on there at once. I've got the two knives sitting down in there in the water, so they're not getting any kind of oxidization because there's no air. I've got my I've got a wooden chopstick that I use to kind of stir up this stuff and make sure it was totally dissolved as best as I can. But I will do that one last time before we do this. Now, I'm curious myself about voltages and colors. Morning, Greg. So yeah, I am, let me lay something down to where y'all can see the chat. Not that it matters. Something black would work better, huh? Maybe this? There we go. Now the chat shows up better on the screen. Alright. I am going to take and my little hook, double hook thing, I'm going to clean it with alcohol because I've been touching it. I just want to be, I'm just extra careful with oils and trying not to introduce any kind of other texture. So I'm going to clean it with alcohol where it'll be touching the knives, where I've been touching it. So I just wiped all that off. Got that ready to go. All right. Now the knife scales are in here, and they're about to be in here, but we got to hook up our leads. So I've got my 2 leads here. As you can see, I'm going to turn off the chat, I guess, for now. Y'all can see the chat in the chat. All right. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this thing right here. Lay this on that alcohol paper towel. I'm going to hook my negative up to my negative. I'm going to hook my positive up to my positive. I'm going to turn on my power supply. I'm going to crank up the amperage all the way, which it always is. And I'm going to start out, we're going to start out with 20 volts and see what 20 volts does. One of the guys said to use 50 volts. DC, you're still in the chat. Yeah, I don't know how much TC. You didn't tell us that yesterday. That seems like that would have been an important thing to let me know before I did it. But okay, you live and you learn, I guess. Black scaling / buildup. So did you have to resand them down and do it again? Man, I would have liked to have known all that. Oh well. Mister, I don't know how you know that because he doesn't have a store by his name. Are you saying some of the stores that he sells his knives at are declining U.S. transactions? Yeah. I'm not sure. Which store are you talking about? Because he sells on like 3 different stores. Or is that just a Reddit post? Alright, y'all ready to see if 20 volts does anything? I'm really curious. Had to get me a cigarette, but... So we got our little hook ready. I'm going to actually put a little curve on it where I can do like that. And I guess I should put another glove on. Do I have another one? Yeah. No, I don't have another one. Dang it. I do have another one. Hold on. I don't want to touch it and get oils on it. I even try to be careful about touching the outside of the gloves. Because if you touch the outside of the gloves with your other hand while you're putting them on, then you're negating the whole process of doing it. Alright. We got our 2 scales. We got our little hook. I'm going to use the pocket clip hole on both of them. There's one of them. There's the other one. Let's go in and see what we do at 20 volts. So this is 20 volts, 3 amps. Let's see what we get. It's still pulling current, so it is still doing something. We're at 16 watts, 15 watts, 14 watts, 13 watts. It's still pulling current. Nine watts. You keep watching the watts until it's down to 0. That's how you know it's finished. I'm at trying to make sure I'm maintaining contact with the titanium, but it's still it's building up a nice coat, I guess, because it hasn't dropped. I'm just going to let it sit here for a second. It's dropping slowly. 10.5, 10.4, 10.3, 10.2, 9.9, 9.7, 9.6, 9.3. I want to give it the chance to do to build up a nice little layer on there. It's stuck at 8.9, 8.8, 8.7. Let me see if I can show y'all what I'm talking about here. I don't know if I just connected to the right server or not. I did. Here's the phone. Here's what I'm looking at. That 8.1 watts is kind of steady now. Hasn't gone down in a minute. There, we just went down to 8.0 watts. I wanted to, there's 7.9. I wanted to get down to 0 because that's what you do with normal anodization, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to leave it. I'm going to move them around a little bit, wiggle them, and show you that changes. Oh, there we go. I lost connection, I guess. I think we're about done because it's, there we go. Moving it around seemed to help. It probably didn't have good contact. You can see that wattage dropping. That means it's supposed to drop all the way to 0. But I'm going to call it here, I guess. Hold on just a second. So as I was shaking them around a little bit, I can see it. They're about at 4. All right, take them out of there, and I'm going to instantly drop them in my water. And see what color we got. It almost looks like a blue-black where it's wet. Let me dry them off and see what they look like. Let me get this glove off. Hold on. There's one of them. This is a nice, like, gunmetal gray, like black. So I wanted to see what lower voltages, because you should be able to get a range of colors using different voltages. All right. Let me clean up a little bit here. Put my little titanium rod out of the way. Get my cup of water out of the way. Put my lid on my anode bath. Turn off my power supply for a minute. We'll do some higher voltage in a minute. But like I said, these lids clip on great even with the spoon still staying on. So those are great little containers. Alright. Clean up a little bit of my mess here. Let's get a background that we can see. Boom, boom, boom. Now we can see a little better. Knocked over a water bottle. That's cool. At least always put the lids back on. Alright. We're good with the mat. Got the 2 scales. Got the bag of parts. I wanted to show y'all something else I did that was stupid. Doesn't surprise y'all, I'm sure. So, it looks like we got a color. Maybe not as dark as I was hoping, but it is a color. I'm going to wipe them off with alcohol once, just to make sure that I've got them kind of even. Alright, that one's had alcohol on it. Now that one's been wiped off with alcohol. Alright. Let's see what we got here. So this is the color we're looking at. Looks like it's still got a little wetness, moisture somewhere down in there. The water is in the pores, I guess. And the finish, you see I didn't spend much time with the sanding. There's the inside. You can still see it's wet. So the hard anode is like I was talking about with the acids. So you can build up a layer using the acids all the way up to like a millimeter thick, I believe. And there's a type 2 and a type 3 with the acids. You use air mixture mixed in with the type 3, I believe. But that's why I said I'm still going to do it too, because I want to learn how to build up a layer of anode that's thick, that's a lot more durable than just the electrolysis. Electrolysis doesn't, it's really just putting a thin layer of like rust, basically. Since titanium doesn't rust, the anode is basically the equivalent of rust on regular metal. You're just forcing it at a certain rate to produce a certain color. But I'm super happy. I'm going to do one of the sides here in just a second. We're going to clean it off, and we're going to do it at like 50 volts and see if we see any difference. So I'm not going to etch it again. I'm just going to clean it really good with alcohol and go right back in the bath. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that before I even get any further. Alright, let me put this back over here for a second. Let me get my stuff back out. I'm going to lay the show side. Which one's the show side? That's the clip side. So we'll do the show side a darker color. I do want to go ahead and clean it really good with alcohol though. I'm going to put my clip back on. Turn on my power supply. I'm going to go up to 50 volts. Let's go to 60. Just to be safe. Grab my little hook. All right, got that all set up. Get my alcohol. Take the show side. Clean it really good with alcohol. All right, just cleaned it really, really good with alcohol. We'll let that evaporate. Hold it in front of the fan beside me here. All right, looks like the alcohol is dry on it. So I'm going to hook it back in the clip. And we're going back in to 50 volts to see if it gets darker. You'll see the spark. You can definitely see the bubbles coming off the spoon. We're at 140, 130 watts, 120, 119. Let me see if I can show you a little window of the camera as it's going down so you can tell what I'm talking about. Whoops, we're upside down. Dang it, what happened? All right, so Pete, there's what I'm talking about. See the wattage, the bottom one? Man, we're getting sparks big time. See how that bottom wattage is dropping down? That's what you want to see. You want it to drop all the way to 0. Because we're definitely... Yeah, we're getting some kind of weird scale stuff or something going on here. There's stuff floating now. Why is it sparking? And what is all that black crap? TC, did you get that? Did alcohol react with it? Doesn't seem to be dropping like I would like it to. Guess we'll let it sit. There it goes. Now it's dropping. I don't know what all that black crap is. We're living and learning. Luckily I have a bead blast and we can fix anything I do. Yeah, that didn't happen the first time, so I prefer the 20 volt process so far. I don't know what all this black stuff floating around in here. Let me give it a little shake and a spark. See if I can get it to drop down any further. Yeah, I washed it off really good, and I do have acetone. I will try acetone. I don't like this black stuff, so you can see it's dropped down to 40 watts, 0.7 of an amp. $42 watts. It's 50 volts. I hope it's darker. I'm gonna let it get below 40 and then I'll quit. Well, it doesn't seem to want to drop. Let me turn off the phone. Let me get my cup and dip it real quick. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with those particles, but I don't think it did anything, like as far as surface. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. So all that, look. It like did a brown, and it's coming off on my fingers. That's super cool and interesting. I'm gonna wipe it off with I'm wondering if I introduced. So look at the pattern. Yeah, it probably knocked off the first layer. I probably should have etched it. I definitely should have etched it. So now we know whatever voltage you want to do, you need to do it from the jump. And I don't think I've got enough distilled water to try again. But we do need to know if it winks off. So we will at least try that. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to somewhat clean it up best I can. So it did like a weird texture in brown. Yeah, I don't know, TC. I mean, I'm sure the water's still okay, but I don't like it. And I guess I don't have to like it. Let me let's find out if the wink works. TC, did you wink it afterwards? Did you try to see if the wink will take it off? It's definitely got a texture now and a pitting and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, right. I need some more to. I've got tons of the manganese sulfate, so I would rather not use that. I mean, yeah, it should take it off if it's just a layer. So let's do that. I'm wondering how high of a voltage layer it is, and if the multi-etch would take it off quickly also. Here's the wink again, though. And here are the two wink cups. And let me get another glove, because wink is hydrofluoric acid and not very good for you. Probably causes cancer in laboratory rats. Yeah, sand it a little. All right. Let's see what wink does to it. It's taking longer than the color ano. I don't see it doing anything, actually. It is not taking it off. Maybe it is. There it goes. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. Double dip. Wow. Now I've ruined my wink too. I'll have to filter it. I have to run it through a coffee filter. I don't like the fact that it did that to my wink. But I think it did fix the scales. It took it a long time though, compared to color. Let's see what we got here. Looks pretty good. The edges look a little, I didn't want to leave it too long. See where I touched it. Doesn't look too bad though. So at least we know that left in there long enough, it will remove it. All right. Yeah, sanding will work too, but it's a lot longer process. And it'll just sand it all off and take it back to metal. So this turned out pretty good. I'm gonna grab my little piece of sandpaper here because I'm curious about this process. And I'm gonna sand it, and then we're gonna multi-etch it. Then we're gonna go in at 50 volts and see if it see what color we get, and see if I can reuse that stuff with the black flakes in it. I'm thinking the black flakes will settle. Well, I know they will. I know this is riveting. Scotch-Brite, yeah, I've got some Scotch-Brite. Scotch-Brite would give it a good texture too. I'm wanting to get a Scotch-Brite wheel from a polisher because I like the texture that Scotch-Brite gives things. I've got some Scotch-Brite, but I didn't want to hit anything with aggressive because I'm going to bead blast it later this week, and I want to make sure that I stay well above all that. So that's why I'm using this 600. I don't know where Scotch-Brite falls on the spectrum. I hear some Discord messages coming in. This is looking pretty good though. And like, you know, with anything you do for the first time, there's going to be some learning curves. But that's why I want to be the one learning, so that once we get it down, y'all won't have the same problems. And you learn a lot more from trial and error and stuff like this than anything else. I believe Pete said that. Alright. This actually looks really good now. Get a fresh paper towel here. A greenish color. Michael, there is no green when it comes to black. I'm not doing regular ano. You can't look at a color chart, Michael. This is not, you can't, nowhere on that color chart is there black. That's the whole point of this thing, is we're trying to do black. But man, that thing came out good. Yeah, you can't, yeah, you can't look at the color chart. We're using manganese sulfate. We're not using sodium bicarbonate or baking soda or TSP or something. So here's the multi-etch. And I'm just going to go straight. I'm just going to drop it right in there. And multi-etch is so... like, I could literally let this sit 5 or 10 minutes and it wouldn't hurt it, because you're supposed to use this stuff warmed up. But I do like the black that we got, and I always like to whenever I finish the scale, I like to take and put just a little bit of oil on it because it evens everything out. And so I'm about to do that really quick so you can see what because the oils from your hands are going to get on it regardless. And I just put a couple of little drips of you can see what I'm doing. I just put a couple of little drips of knife oil on there. I think one of the videos we watched, the guy put a little bit of oil on. But now you can see it kind of evens it all out. And I didn't sand this really good, so it's not like a polished finish or anything. But that's the original one we got, the black. So we're gonna see what we get when we do 50 volts. So I'm gonna let this sit just another minute or so. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go use a. Let me look at the Discord for a second while we're waiting on this multi-etch. TC. Did a purple and blue with the black on the Tucson. Yeah, that's a real good knife to sand off and leave it black down in the grooves and color on the flats. So that's super cool. You did a mirror polish. Black DLC. Oh yeah, that does look good. That is really shiny. Nice job, TC. Alright, I think that's probably good enough with the multi-etch. I don't have a glove, so I'm just going to carefully, I'm just going to grab it. I trust multi-etch enough that I can go rinse my hands off. I can at least get the multi-etch out of the way now. Alright, now let's see what 50 volts does without the craziness going on, hopefully. I'm going to clean off my electrode. Make sure it doesn't have any black on it. And those little black chunks seem to have settled to the bottom of that solution, so I feel a little better about that. Doesn't look like this titanium wire got any of that same process happen to it. I was wondering about it being affected the same way, because it is going to anode it. You can see it's black now. But there's no flakes coming off of it, so that's good. Alright, let's try this again with 50 volts. And hope this solution works like TC said it would. Man, it's gross down in there. Alright, power supply back on. Get the knife scale. Hook it and book it. Oh wow, it's doing colors. What in the heck? Did y'all see it turn colors? Well, that was totally weird. We're still at 56 watts. It turned colors. How did we get color from manganese sulfate? Something happened with my reaction with that black and that manganese. Yeah, that's why I wanted to start with fresh water, because something just weird just happened. We're getting lots of sparks, but we're getting a nice consistent color instead of that weird stuff. And it doesn't have a crazy texture like it did. We're down at 30 watts. There is definitely a crazy buildup on my spoon that has never happened. Almost looks like rust, but it's stainless steel. We're down in the 20s now. Your watts never bottomed out? Yeah. I'm noticing that. I'm down in the 20s now. I think I'm about to call it there. About 25 watts. All right. That one looks good and shiny and all even. There's no weird blotchy stuff or weird colors, so that was definitely the problem. Yeah, it's best to do them both. That's why I made that hook, but I wanted to see the difference between the two different voltages, 20 and 50. That's why I didn't do them both this time, Mister. I wanted to see if this made it any darker. Let that dry off for just a second. And then I'm going to put a couple little drops of oil on it. Man, I really like this color, this 50 volt. It's slick as a baby's butt too. That wet sanding did a good job. All right. So this is the 50 volt version. It came out super shiny. And this is the 20 volt version. Let's see if there's a difference. There is a little bit of a difference. I don't know if y'all can see that, but this one is a little darker. This one's got more of a gray to it. They both look good, but I think I like this 50 better. It seems to be even and it's a little more black. I eventually want to go all the way up to 100 and see what it gets. But it's definitely darker. Darker for sure. So that's a good test. You can see the light hitting them different ways. it'll be best to bead blast them and do them, because that'll make the texture even everywhere. I didn't sand nearly enough to get all those scratches and imperfections out of it from the beginning, but so I can't fault it. I want to show y'all this spoon though. Look at that craziness on the spoon. My spoon has always been silver the entire time. It's never gotten anything like that on it. So that is from where it took off that layer. Yeah, you're right, Pete. That's what I was saying. This one is shinier a little bit. But really quick, I want to show y'all something else. How long have we been going? Hour and 21 minutes. All right. Where's my lid? Right here. And I will totally clean this and start over with fresh distilled water before I do this again. I don't like the black flakes in there. That's just not my style. I'll have to filter my wink too, because I don't like that either. I like having repeatable. In a laboratory setting, you've got to have repeatable results. You can't introduce new elements and expect to get the same results. My opinion. I didn't actually measure how much manganese sulfate I put in, but I do kind of know how much I put in. So, I want to show y'all what my idiot self did this morning when I was taking this knife apart. So this knife has something weird that other knives don't have, and that is a liner for the liner lock that is not screwed in. It's held in by that little tab in the middle there. So when you're taking it apart, you have to get that liner out in order to ano it. And that is what this is right here. And so it's got a little captive place that holds that. It's really more Mr. It's not about the reservoir, it's about the levels of the manganese sulfate you have per, the saturation rate. Like, it'll only absorb so much manganese sulfate, and then it'll start sitting in the bottom. But if you just had a bigger reservoir, you would just need more manganese sulfate. But as I was saying, as I was taking this apart, I took the blade, because I had the blade loose, and I couldn't get this out. It was really in there, really tight. So my dumb self took this blade, and I just barely stuck the edge in there. And I swear, I know how much pressure I was applying, and it didn't take much at all to snap off the tip. I mean, it snapped with very little pressure at all. So that was going to happen regardless on this 14C28N. So to fix it, all I got to do is just round out this edge until it catches up with where it broke. I'm just going to have to round it off a little more up here at the front. So I will do that in my fixed angle sharpener before I really put it back together. Or after I bead blast it. So it won't be bad. And I could fix it two ways. I could sand this side down, but that'll affect the black. Or I can just curve the edge a little bit. And so I'm just going to curve it a little bit more. And it'll look fine. It already curves, so you won't be able to tell. It'll just curve a little more. It's very tiny. I know it looks bigger on TV, but it's just about the width of another blade edge. So I'll just round that off. And that'll be my new point out there. So yeah, that sucked. But the reason is because this little thing was so tight on this And I don't know why they designed this knife without having a way to screw this liner in, because it's basically just press fitted in. And I think I might have bent it too much when I tried to straighten it back out. So I was afraid when I was pulling up on it, I bent it quite a bit. So I wanted to, I bent it back. And now I want to make sure that I put enough in it, back in it, to make the liner lock work. Oh, I can always bend it out more though after I get it screwed back together. But that looks like that will lock up. Let me give it a little bit more of a bend. Alright. Yeah, that looks like that'll lock up good. So, let's reassemble this puppy real quick, see how it goes. We'll have two different colors. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna bead blast it anyway. A little bit of oil to hold this washer in, pivot in. And I don't remember which side the pivot was on this thing. Pete, do you know which side the pivot goes in? Is it like most knives and it goes in the lock bar side, or not? I didn't even take a picture of the Devo mash. I actually think it was the other way. I think the show side had the pivot. Yeah, the show side's got the pivot. Should be captive. It's not a. It's totally round. Does it have that little? Oh, I see what you're talking about. So, which side has that little place? Yeah, it's the show side. I thought it was, because I remember when I took it apart. There we go. When I took it apart, I remember seeing the Torx bit on the clip side. Alright. Washer, bearing. I like putting my bearings to where the open stamp side faces the blades. I know that's talked about, and some people do it the opposite way, but not I, said me. Is that the stop pin, or is that the... Oh no, that's one of the... is the stop pin black? Yes, I think it is. Yes. Alrighty. Boom, boom, boom. A little bit of oil. Boom, boom, boom. Take the back spacer, put it into place, put the other standoff in. Alright, that's in place. Is this a locating pin, I'm guessing? Yes, put the locating pin in. I think we're good now. That should be good. Now, which one's which? Oh, there's only two screws, because it's got the clip is the other screw. Something is not lined up. That's all right. Wow, where did all that oil come from? An oil issue. That's not lining up either. Something ain't right here. Oh, that's not all the way in. Yep, I don't know what's going on here. I don't think the locating pin is going in the right place, maybe. Why is that not snapping together? Why do I have so much oil on my stupid hands? I think there was oil on the scales too or something. Something ain't popping together right. Backspacer, I think that standoff, I mean that locating pin, something ain't right here. That all looks right. But the back's not fitting right. I need to put the dang it! I can't tell if that's right or not. I hate putting knives back together on live stream because it never works out like it's supposed to. Yeah, that's not working. Oh, dang it! Was I using the wrong screwdriver the whole time and that's why I didn't get it started? Yep. Of course. Of course, I'm an idiot. But I didn't have it lined up right anyway, so wouldn't have mattered how much I screwed it together. Alright, that pulled it good and tight together. I'll probably have to adjust this pivot. I mean the lock bar because of bending it. Alright. Centering looks good. It's oily. I'm about to drop it. Well, action looks good too. Let me get the oil wiped off because it is rather oily. Alright. Looks way better than the start of the video. You can definitely see the different colors on that side compared to that side. And it's got oil on it, so it's not even everywhere, but that side's darker and that side's lighter. Action seems decent on it so far. Put these clip screws back in so it's fully back together. I love balancing these little screws for the clip in the middle there. That's always super fun. Alright, got the clip back on. Good, good, good. Wrapped up. I will wait till I get my bead blaster to change it again, which is not going to be but a couple of days, so that's cool. We did when all else fails, get the hammer out. Exactly. And I just used the back of this. Y'all saw me. I didn't hurt nothing. It was that locating pin just wasn't falling into place. Hitting it with alcohol one good time. Well, there we go, guys. Black Ano does actually work. So I'm super happy with this for $40 or 45 bucks. Whatever I ended up paying for it. It's got great action. It'll have a great new blade shape a little bit. It'll just have just a tiny bit more of a curve. You won't ever be able to tell. It'll probably make it even work better when cutting. Thank you, Michael. I'm glad we all learned that together last week. How to do Black Ano. And it'll only look better when there's a totally even surface from doing the bead blast. It does have 14C 28N blade steel, which is not my favorite, but I went from having 0 Devos to now I have 3, so that's super cool. I feel like I'm in y'all's club now a little bit. I got that one. I sent Pete's off to him, but I got that one. I got the growler. And I got my buzz. Oh, a clam knife? Yeah. Those are pretty cool. Clam shucker. So yeah, got some Devos now. Pete's got a new one on his way. So that's awesome. It's my front pocket knife last night. My back pocket knife last night. And the other one. We got that one laying around. Michael, no, I love plain Jane. I've got plenty of knives. I got plenty of knives that I can ano. This one has such great action with the skiffs. I love the plain. I love plainness. I don't like. The only reason I chose to do this one black is because it had a black blade already. So why not? But I normally prefer, like, that's why I picked this one instead of the fancy one. And man, I don't know, I said at the beginning of the video, I got this one tuned to where it's like probably the best action of any knife I've got. Like it just, I don't know if you can tell how smooth that is. But I'm telling you, these new caged ceramic bearings that they make are just butter. You don't have to do nothing. It just barely holds itself up. Like, it's so close to being guillotine. I'm trying to, like, not move my hand and shake it at all because it just wants to. Perfect. Love it. If you don't get excited about your knives like this, there's something wrong with you. And me and you are not the same. If you just pick up a knife and it doesn't give you a special kind of feeling, when you feel it do stuff like that, then we're not the same hobbyist. See, this one you got to shake a little bit. This one's still got great action, but it's not anything like the other one. But this buzz is getting close to that one. You still have to shake it just a little too. It's not as good an action as this one. This one you don't have to do nothing. And this one's pretty much the same way. These are both really close. This one doesn't have quite as good an action. It could be just because I haven't used it like I've used the other one. I do have another one of these coming in, so I am going to ano it. I'm going to ano the grooves one color and the flats a different color. So it'll show the hexagons. So the edge of the knife and all the little grooves will be one color, and then all the hexagons by themselves will be a different color. So I do have another one of these that we're going to ano and do a two-tone on. I might even try to do a little painting with nail polish and do like a 3 or 4 colors. So we might try to paint some of these hexagons with nail polish and match them off when we do some of the other hexagons. We'll see. Because I got to start with the high voltage color anyway to do it'll have the edges and all the little grooves will be one color. So it won't matter if I get paint down in the grooves. As long as I get them covering the little hexagons fully, it can go down into the grooves as long as the flats on the next hexagon are fully exposed. So I might try to do like a multicolor hexagon pattern. Get fancy with it. Alright guys, let's go check and see if anything went on the Discord while I was rambling about, besides the black pocket check. Let's see. Ed posted some earlier of his knife. Nice close up. That's a cool bead. Cool knife. There's what I carried last night. And that milling is great on that knife. Both of those look great. And the night before. And then did y'all see my balancing act? Did y'all see how good? Oh, here's Michael's Titanium Tuesday post. I forgot about that one. Got, I believe, a Tucson, a 6-leaf, or they might both be 6-leafs, but I think that's a Tucson 6-leaf and 2 Kunwus. And then Nick posted his Evo and his Chevron. And let's see. Oh yeah, Stacy posted retenable. Is that what kind of pattern? Is that like a Rorschach test? It does look like an ink test, the Rorschach ink test. What a crazy pattern on that, but I like it. Yeah, did y'all see my balancing act? I'm so good at balancing, second to none. And the shadows prove that I'm not lying. Couldn't be lying at all. I live really close to mountains like that, and can balance knives like that. and can take pictures like that. Just kidding. Well, guys, we were successful. We have a knife that is now black that wasn't. So I hope y'all learned as much as I did today. I learned quite a bit. I learned that I don't like the black chunky stuff. And I learned that if you're going to do it all at once. And I learned that I like my new little hook, so I can do 2 pieces at once. So that was a smart thing to do this morning. And I learned that 20 volts is different than 50 volts. As you can see, one is darker than the other. And I learned that I like both of them. Ugh. I got the exact same stuff that he had on that video. The high yield. 4 pounds of it. And I just used like a half a cup. Like this thing is full. So. Got plenty of that. I'm going to go get some more distilled water today. I've got to pack up and ship out those 2 rosies. Because they already sold. Oh, that's awesome. Keep it scale stupid. Thank you, sir. I try to learn along with you guys and hopefully pass on anything I'm learning. I know that I'm really excited about getting into the bead blasting because I'm just afraid we just went to 50 volts to get this dark color right here. The lighter color was at 20 volts. You can tell that one's like a lighter gray and this one is a darker black. And like I said, I didn't sand the scratches out of this thing, so it's not completely fixed, but it looks fine for what it is. It's a $40 knife. I mean, titanium knife. So I'm totally happy with it, and would probably be happy with it with the 2 different colored sides on it. And I kind of like that gray, that 20 volt, something different. At least I know I can at least I know I can do 2 different shades, and we'll probably get some more shades. I'm gonna try once I have the bead blasting set up, we can just try as many times as we want. We can do something, bead blast it, do something, bead blast it, do something, bead blast it until we wear down the scales completely. No, I'm just kidding. But we can just keep doing it over and over again instead of having to worry about sanding it in between. Like, yeah, it does match the blade a little bit better. So I'm glad I tried that 20 volts instead of just jumping right to 100. All right, Mr. Pete. I'll get the shadows hitting it. That's oils. You see how that just wiped off? A lot of those marks aren't really marks. They're where I've touched it with my oily fingers. It's a lot more even than that. And like I said, there were some big scratches on this thing that I haven't gotten completely out yet. You can see how that just went away when I rubbed it. But yeah, that color is a lot lighter than that black. But I gotta get these scratches out. But that's why I went with 600, because I knew that some of these scratches were deeper and I wasn't going to get them out with 600. And the blade, the stonewash on the blade looks pretty good. It's got a mirror edge on it. You can see somebody sharpened it. Yeah. And we can do hardware too, as long as it's titanium. And y'all know, before it's all said and done with, I'll have the whole chemical setup to do aluminum. This is a Devo mash. I got it and this Spyderco that I got for sale for 75 bucks. I got these two in a package deal for 75 bucks. Because if you go back to the beginning of the video, it looked like a Michigan knife. It had a big M on the side of it. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but there's no M's anywhere, or even hints of an M anywhere. But yeah, I paid 75 bucks for these two. So if I sell this one for 30, I got this one for 45. Titanium knife, Devo. I think that's a good deal. I don't know what they were new, but I'm happy with that price. But this is for sale if somebody wants a liner lock Spyderco. It's never been used. It's on washers, so it'll take a little wearing in. You can shake it closed, maybe. Not easily, because it's on washers. You can flick it open, though. I sold these two Rosies in about an hour tonight on Knife Swap. The skeleton one and the XL. So that was cool. That was my first sale on Knife Swap. I told y'all I'd had over 100 flare on there, but they all came from buying knives. So I popped my selling cherry on there, so I'm excited now, because now I'm not so scared to post. You have to get so many things right that I didn't want to mess up. But it went well. Sold both of them. Made 50 bucks real quick to add to the knife fund, and I'm going to ship them out this morning. If I could do that every day, that's a $350 a week knife budget. That's pretty good. Which model is which? This one? The Devo? It's the mash. Or this one, or the... No, the only thing on my Knife Swap post was just those two knives. And I just did this all night long last night. Oh, it's a Tenacious. It's a Spyderco Tenacious lightweight for 30 bucks. I think they're 65 new, so I figured I'd sell it for half price. It weighs 3.71 ounces. It's a liner lock, which is unusual for Spydercos. It is it is 7 3/4 7 3/4 inches long, with a 3.5-inch blade. Non-serrated, non-used. I just didn't, you know, a lot of people don't realize how knives on washers are going to feel. And so they expect this knife to feel like this knife. And they're just two different things. Like washers, this knife is going to last forever because it won't get dirt in the bearings. Those washers will just only get better with time, whereas these bearings will only get worse with time. So that's the difference. A lot of people buy knives not knowing it. So I think he bought this one and never used it and just didn't like the fact that it's a slow roll knife and got to kind of use your finger to close it. But it's a great little beater worker knife. It's one of the China models, and I bet it's made by SRM that we looked up. Because you remember it talked about that they made a few models for Spyderco. So as you see, it says China on it. And I bet it's one of the models made by SRM. Or San Renmu. Well, alright guys, we're coming up on 2 hours. I think I'm going to end it here. Hope y'all have a great day. Appreciate y'all. If you need me, you know how to find me. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do so. Hope y'all have a great day, like I said, and hope your weather gets warmer every day. Hope you have some 75-degree days soon. Don't forget to let me know as soon as you get your stickers, because I will be giving a prize out for that. TC Blades, thank you, sir. Scott, appreciate you. Hey, look what it says on the screen chat. That's pretty cool. It shows what the special emojis are. It says later, guys. Peace, badass. Peace, badass. Let's see what mine's, if I do them all. Does mine do the same thing when I do that? My chat doesn't even show up. Oh yeah, it does. Happy, huh, what? Winning, excited, badass, and peace. That's what all the emojis stand for. Happy, huh, what? Winning, excited, badass, and peace. Blueface, smiling, red, green. Echo, Delta. No, I don't know. Anyway, guys, yeah, let me know who gets their mail first. I can't track it, which is kind of weird for me because I want to know who's going to win. It would be funny if nobody told me they ever got the stickers and they were just lost. One thing I didn't do was put a return address on there, so if they're lost, they're lost. I thought it's probably not the best idea to, like, I mean, I trust all y'all, but just get in the habit of just, when I send out stickers and stuff, to not let everybody in the world know where I live. I need to get a P.O. box. Well, alright guys, I guess everybody else is busy or left or not talking, or just those background viewers who don't participate. And you know what, background viewers, I hope y'all learned some stuff today too. I know there's a lot of y'all that just sit there in the background and either like watch to see me say something stupid or talk about clones when you hate clones. But I really do hope you learned something and enjoyed yourself. And don't have any animosity against any of y'all. I appreciate y'all watching. It helps the viewer count, helps my watch hours, helps all that. But there are a lot of y'all every day that there's 10 of us talking and 10 of you sitting in the background, and I get it. I join chat sometimes, but y'all ought to at least say hi sometime. My mom said she popped on a couple of streams and watched, and she wants me to help her make her an account with a different kind of name, so it's not just her real name popping up. And she might say hi eventually. So she might have been one of those background lurkers. So that's cool. Mom's checking in on you. Anyway, guys, love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great